Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. I hope you must be busy in your studies and our programs must be helping you in understanding of biological concepts. If you recall, in our last programs, so we discussed about the details of the basic building unit of life, the cell. And today, I'm starting my first slide with a picture of web of a spider. Let's look at that slide. So what is there? This is the spider, and this is the spider silk which is produced, and that is going to make this beautiful web which is there. So this spider is going to act as a factory to produce certain biological molecules. And can you imagine, this is the close-up of a spider, and these are the products, the silk, spider silk which is produced. And can you imagine, this spider silk is stronger than steel. Life diversity results from the variety of molecules in the cell. Every cell is given a specific function. Every organism is given a specific role to perform. So basically, in the spider, inbuilt program is there that the spider is going to build this web, and this is encoded in the DNA. So this is going to determine the structure of the silk proteins. In these programs, we will be discussing about biological molecules, going to a deeper level of the study. We covered the cell, and cell is made up of, so what is there? Cell wall made up of cellulose, cell membrane made up of bimolecular phospholipid layer, proteins dotted here and there. What is there in the mitochondria? Outer membrane, inner membrane. Inside there is, you can say, the certain enzymes are there to carry out special function. Similarly, the chloroplast having different variety of enzymes. So what is there? All of these structures, they are made up of molecules, and these biological molecules, they are categorized into 4 major groups. So looking at some of the slides, so this is the cell which we have studied. The cell wall made up of cellulose, the carbohydrates, cell membrane, so these are the phospholipid molecules, proteins dotted here and there. These are the starch grains which are present in the chloroplast. Inside the nucleus, this is the DNA and protein which is there. Ribosomes are made up of RNA and proteins. Mitochondria having this membrane made up of bimolecular phospholipid layer, and inside the DNA strands are also present. Microtubules are made up of proteins. So there are 4 major groups of biological molecules: carbohydrates, lipids, proteins, and nucleic acid. These biological molecules consist primarily of carbon bounded to carbon, or with the hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, or sulfur. And you must be familiar that carbon is going to have 4 valency and ability to make 4 covalent bonds. Biological molecules are typically large molecules constructed from the small subunits. Monomer mean single unit, polymer mean multiple units, many units. There are 2 important reactions which are there in the biological molecule study. One is the dehydration or condensation reaction, in which the formation of large molecules by the removal of water molecules. So by this reaction, monomers are joined to give us the polymers. And second reaction is hydrolysis or hydrolytic reaction, involving breakdown of larger molecules by the addition of water molecules. Polymers are broken down to monomers by the hydrolytic reactions. So in this picture you can see, so there is removal of this water molecule, and these 2 molecules, they are joined together. So this is one of the anabolic reaction, synthetic reaction, condensation reaction. And here this was a large molecule. By the entry of water, it is going to split into 2 small molecules. So this is called as hydrolytic reaction or catabolic reaction, breakdown reaction. So in our further discussion, we'll be mainly focusing on the structure of carbohydrate, proteins, lipids, and nucleic acid. Carbohydrates, they are made up of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen with a simple empirical formula of CH2O and the various polymers which are going to join, and they must be having at least one aldehyde group or keto group in the structure. These are the defining feature of a molecule of carbohydrate. Looking at the carbohydrate slides, so these are certain food items which are very rich in carbohydrates. So basically the elements which are there, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and the simple ratio of these 1:1 ratio in the form of CH2O, and this is the number of monomers they are going to link, so it can be 2, 3, 4, 5, or it may be in thousands also. Carbohydrates are classified basically into three groups: monosaccharides, which are basic building units, and they are given the terminology of trioses if 3 carbon is there, tetroses 4 carbon, pentoses, hexoses, and so on. Oligosaccharides, so they are having few monosaccharides, so they are again classified into disaccharide, tri, tetra, penta, up to almost 10. So some disaccharides are most important molecules with reference to biology. Polysaccharides, which are made up of more than 10 units of monosaccharides, they may be homopolysaccharide if they are made up of the same molecule, and heteropolysaccharide if they are made up of different variety of monosaccharides. The differentiating feature among these three basic groups of carbohydrates: mono mean one, this is the basic building unit; oligo mean few, and for the purpose of classification, few mean from 2 to 10. If more than 10, then this is the word poly which we are going to use. The differentiating feature among these three groups, one is the taste. Monosaccharide, they are sweet in taste. Oligosaccharide, they are less sweet in taste, while the polysaccharide, they are tasteless. The second differentiation is solubility in water. Monosaccharides, they are easily soluble in water. Polysaccharides are insoluble in water, while the oligosaccharide, they are comparatively less soluble in water. So looking at the commonest variety of the monosaccharide, that is the glucose. So whatever the variety of carbohydrate in the form of food, rice, bread we are going to eat, so that is first being subjected to our digestive system, and ultimately it is converted into glucose and being absorbed. Looking at this animation, let's say this is one of the carbohydrate source going through the mouth, and certain enzymes are released in the saliva, which is going to cause a breakdown of starch and glycogen into maltose. Then it is going to go in the stomach, where gastric juice is released. And if we are going to look at, so this is the stomach, gastric juice in the stomach is going to cause the digestion of the proteins. Carbohydrate digestion continued till very acidic contents of the stomachs are there due to hydrochloric acid, and then the pancreas is going to release pancreatic juice, and that juice is going to convert the disaccharides into glucose, and this glucose is being absorbed in our blood. Monosaccharides are also known as simple sugar. Usually they are classified by number of carbons, and either they are having aldehyde group or keto group, aldoses or ketoses. Most of these are having straight chain, but some of these they are having the branch chain also. But a very important aspect of this glucose is having this straight chain formula. It is one of the hexose having 6 carbons. But once we are going to dissolve the glucose in water, so that is going to assume a ring shaped structure, 6 cornered ring. One corner is occupied by the oxygen, and this is called as Pyron ring. At the carbon one, depending upon the location of OH group on the lower side, so we are going to call it as a alpha glucose, and if its OH is there on the upper side, we are going to call it as a beta glucose. How whole of this process is going to occur? Looking in this animation, dissolving the glucose in water. This was a straight chain of 6 carbon. Once it is being dissolved in water, so it is going to assume the carbon 5 is going to attach with this carbon 1 and carbon 6 is there at the periphery, and if OH is there on the lower side, this is alpha glucose, and if the OH is there on the upper side, this is called as beta glucose. Basically, inside the cell, this is the water, the cytoplasm, 90% of that is water. Outside the cell, this is extracellular fluid, interstitial fluid, tissue fluid, 90% of that is also water. It means in the living organism, glucose is always existing in the ring-shaped structure, alpha or beta glucose. And these glucose, they are going to join together to give us disaccharide, tri, tetra, penta, octa, looking at some of the very important group and how they are joined, that is of disaccharides and the glycosidic bonds. So these are some of the monosaccharides. This is the structural formula of glucose, structural formula of fructose, which is one of the isomer. Glucose is one of the aldo sugar and the fructose is one of the keto sugar. This is having a aldehyde group and this is going to have a keto group. So basically this is a aldehyde group, that is CHO. This is a aldehyde group and this is one of the keto groups. So those sugars which are going to have these aldehyde groups, they are called as aldo sugar or aldoses, and those sugars which are having this keto group, so they are called as keto sugar or ketoses. So glucose is one of the aldo sugar, fructose is one of the keto sugar. So these are, both of these are very important hexoses having 6 carbon. Another group is pentoses, which are very vital to our body. So they are there in the 5-coordinate ring, and 5-coordinate ring is called as Pyron ring. So this is the ribose which is present in the structure of RNA, and this is deoxyribose which is present in the structure of DNA. Here the difference in both of these pentose sugar is just only one oxygen. At carbon 2, this oxygen, it is being replaced, it is deoxyribose, only removal of one oxygen from here, that is going to convert this molecule from ribose into deoxyribose, otherwise they are having the same structural formula. So two of the glucose molecule, the hexoses, they are going to combine together in the form that hydroxyl group attached at carbon 4 and carbon 1, they are going to go through a condensation reaction. There is a removal of water molecule, and this oxygen which is left, it is going to link both of these molecules. So this linkage which is going to dwell between carbon 4 of one monosaccharide with the carbon 1 of another monosaccharide, these are called as 1,4 glycosidic bonds. Like this is the maltose, which is made up of a glucose molecule and glucose molecule. This was carbon 4, this was carbon 1, and the removal have resulted this oxygen linking both of these. So this is called as 1,4 glycosidic bond. This is lactose, one of the disaccharide which is made up of glucose and galactose, also called as milk sugar. Maltose is called as a malt sugar, while the common sugar which we are using as a table sugar, that is sucrose, and it is made up of a molecule of glucose with fructose, and here the linking is there between carbon 1 and carbon 2 with the same process of removal of water. So this is 1,2 glycosidic linkage or glycosidic bonds. Polysaccharide, if they are having more than 10 units, so 3 important polysaccharides. One is the glycogen, which is there in liver and muscle cells. So glycogen is going to have this straight chain made up of 1,4 glycosidic bonds, but a branch is going to appear. This was the carbon 6 which was free. It is going to link with the carbon 1 of another chain, like branching pattern of glycogen, and here at the start of this branch, it is 1,6 glycosidic bond. And all these further, they will be 1,4 and here they are also the 1,4 linkages which are there. So looking at the branching structure of this glycogen, again, so this is, let's say, glycogen, these are the branches which are there. So all of these are 1,4 glycosidic bonds, but at the site of branch, this is the 1,6 glycosidic linkage. This is the condensation reaction with the removal of water molecule at 1,6 glycosidic bonds. So at the branches 1,6 and the straight chain, they are made up of 1,4 glycosidic bond. Amylose is made up of 2 components, that is the starch. Starch is having this amylose, which is just having the unbranched pattern, while the other component of starch, that is amylopectin, that is going to have branch structure. While glycogen is highly branched in comparison to amylopectin, and again, so these are the 1,4 for the straight or unbranched chain, and at the site of branch, this is 1,6 linkage which is there. So this is the apple. You must have enjoyed that. And the outer skin is having a very large quantity of another polysaccharide called as cellulose, and inside this is the amylose, the unbranched chain, and amylopectin, the branch chains are there. Looking at this cellulose which is present in the cell wall of plant cell and outer skin of most of the fruits, cellulose is having a specific, you can say, the orientation, because it is going to provide strength. So this is the you can say OH is there on the upper side at carbon 1. So one link is being produced, but for the second link OH is there on the lower side. So the molecule of this you can say the monosaccharide, it is going to rotate at 180 degree. So one bond is produced on the upper side, next bond in the lower side, upper bond, then it is the lower bond. So this is the alternative arrangement of the cellulose molecule. And why this is there, we are just discussing within few minutes. So this is the structure of the cellulose. These are the fibers of cellulose, and from there, so these are the one bond which is produced at the upper, another lower, and alternate molecules of glucose are going to rotate at 180 degree. Again, this is a cell wall structure in which the fibers are there in the zigzag manner, one layer at right angle to the other layer, and these are the cellulose fibers. Within the cellulose fibers there are microfibrils, and within these microfibrils these are the molecules of cellulose which are there. So these are basically the cellulose molecules, and bundles of these molecules almost 10 nanometer given the terminology of microfibril, and the bundle of microfibers having a diameter of almost 50 nanometer, they are called as cellulose fibers. Looking at the same concepts of structure of carbohydrates in the form of animations. Looking at this animation about the biomolecules of carbohydrates. So basically these carbohydrates, they are made up of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen in a ratio of 1 to 1, and the basic building unit, these are the monosaccharide, although having straight chain, but they are there in the ring shaped structure in the living organism. So most of the fruits are having these fructose, one of the monosaccharides. This is one of the pentose, deoxyribose present in the DNA, and these are the polysaccharides, disaccharide, the sucrose which is there in our table sugar, and lactose which is present in the milk. And then these are the three important polysaccharides: cellulose in the kingdom Plantae, starch in the form of potato tubers, and glycogen in our muscles to provide us energy. So this is the basic building unit of carbohydrate, and because the OH is situated on the lower side, so this is the alpha glucose. Starch and glycogen, they are made up of alpha glucose, while the cellulose, that is made up of a beta glucose molecules. So if we are going to look at the structure of starch, so it will be having these branching pattern, and if we are going to look at one of the detailed fibers, so it is the condensation reaction occurring between the two alpha glucose molecule. This is the carbon 4, this is the carbon 1, removal of this water molecule, and both of these the monomers, so they are linked by 1,4 glycosidic linkage or 1,4 glycosidic bond. Because these are the alpha glucose, so we are using alpha 1,4 glycosidic bonds. While in case of glycogen and amylopectin, the branching is there. So this is the carbon 6 and this is the carbon 1 at the branching pattern. So basically the starch is there present in a very high amount in the potato, and glycogen is there present in our muscle, because we have to move and the energy is required. So this is a source of energy in our muscle all the time available, and whatever the glucose we are going to eat, ultimately it is stored in the form of glycogen in our muscle cell in case of animal. Going with the functions of carbohydrates, so they are the source of energy, They are intermediates in the biosynthesis of other basic molecule entities like fats and proteins. They are associated with other entities such as glycosides, vitamins, and antibiotics. From structural tissue in the plant, so they are going to make cellulose, lignin, and murein, and they are also going to participate in biological transport, cell-to-cell recognition, activation of growth factors, modulation of the immune system. If we conclude our discussion of carbohydrates, so the prime importance of carbohydrate, that they are the energy source. Whenever the body is going to look for energy, body is going to look for glucose, because our metabolic machinery is meant to release energy in the form of glucose. If glucose is deficient, then the disaccharides are looked for. If they are deficient, then polysaccharide, glycogen in case of animals and starch in case of plants, they are being looked for. And if all the carbohydrate, they are deficient, how many glycogen molecules you can store? How much glycogen you can store in our liver and muscle? So can you recall from your previous studies at lower level, you must be knowing that it is just 24-hour supply of glycogen which is there. They are having the structural support, they are the reserve food, and one more function to emphasize is the function of recognition. If you recall our last programs, so we have emphasized that this is the carbohydrate attached with the lipids to form glycolipid or glycoproteins to make antennas. So they are going to perform the function of recognition. Anything want to enter or leave the cell, these are the carbohydrates which are going to recognize. If we look at the prime function of carbohydrate, so basically they are the source of energy. They are energy providers. If our body is going to look for energy in the form of ATP, so body is going to look for glucose. Basically inbuilt program which is there in the mitochondria, that is for the breakdown of glucose through glycolysis, link reaction, Krebs cycle, and electron transport chain to generate energy in the form of ATP. This is only and only single mechanism to generate energy. Think of a bacteria, think of any plant, think of a rabbit, think of a cow, and think of yourself, the human being. All life, if you just say any living organism, if they require energy, so it is only the ATP, and they are going to derive it from the same biochemical pathway. So they are the prime source for energy. If there is deficiency of the glucose is there, the monosaccharides, they are deficient, then the body is going to look for disaccharides. So disaccharides, with the help of enzymatic reaction, they are converted into monosaccharides. And if the disaccharides are also deficient, then our body is going to look for polysaccharides. And the polysaccharide storage, the reserve food in animal, is there in the form of glycogen, while in case of plant it is there in the form of starch. So if the glycogen reserves are there, so glycogen is converted into glucose with the help of a hormone called as glucagon, released from the alpha cells of pancreas, and this glucagon is going to build up the level of our blood glucose. And if the deficiency of glycogen is also there, then the second choice for energy, these are the lipids. So can you just imagine how much glycogen we can store in our liver and muscle? So this is just only 24-hour supply. So while we are fasting, so much of the reserves of glycogen we are going to deplete. So if glycogen sources are depleted, then the body is going to look for lipids. Lipids are energy storage compound. Any quantity of lipids can be stored in our body. But to provide energy, first they must be converted into glucose, must be converted into carbohydrate to be fueled in the same metabolic machinery. And if a person is very thin, having no extra fat at all, so that individual is going to use the third choice, and the third choice, these are the proteins. and these proteins are converted into amino acid, and then the amino acids are also converted into glucose. Then they can just provide us energy in the form. So prime function of carbohydrate to provide us energy. In addition to that, so they are going to provide us the structural support, and then they, very important function we already discussed, recognition of the different molecules which want to enter or leave the cell in the form of glycoprotein and glycolipids. Dear students, we discussed about the structural and functional aspect of carbohydrates. Inshallah, in our next program, so we'll be discussing with the other macromolecules like lipids, proteins, and nucleic acid. Till that time, Allah Hafiz.